Okay, so let's get started on the course class, and then we're going to write a driver to test it out. So I am here. I'm going to create the source code. This would be a Java file. Let's call this one course. So this will be the course class. Okay. So what are we going to need in it? We're going to need some attributes, probably a constructor or two. And, oops, got to put an S there. And then maybe some sort of an accessor to retrieve the number of exams a particular course might have, and maybe the toString method to print the actual course. Okay, so we can print all of its information by using the reference of the object using the toString method. All right, so what things can we have here? Maybe something like this: private string course name. Of course, it's got to spell private better. There you go. And then put a semicolon at the end. And then maybe something like this: private int exams num. Basically, how many exams are in this course. That will be the index of an array that the students will have in terms of all of their exams all lined up using that number to construct the array. So now, what do we want here? Maybe we want to build the object right away using an overloaded constructor that takes two parameters: the course name and an actual number of exams. Okay, so to build a constructor again, look at the name of the course or the class, and it's called course. So public course, so it has the same name, and no return type. Now, if you do put parameters here, then this is an overloaded constructor. Maybe something like this: name and num. And these will be the variables you want to use. So you have to define what type are they: string name and int num, right? Okay, so what do? Well, we want course name to be equal to name, and we want exams num to be equal to num. Fantastic. So what else can we do? Well, we could do an accessor that will retrieve the number of exams. Okay. Do we need one for the name? Don't think so at this stage. So nothing is etched on stone until we start testing, we start seeing features and evaluating what would be a nice addition or modification we'll need. But at least I know that I will need public int get exams num. And that will simply return, so it's a function or a method, return exams num. Okay, semicolon. Now, the toString method, what we'd like to do there is to actually print maybe the course name and the number of exams that are in there. So let's do something like this. Public. This will return a string. toString. Now we can decide how we should concatenate what is it we're returning here. Return maybe course name plus some space, maybe something like this, or has, and maybe exams num. Exams. Something like this that will be a little more descriptive as to what that will do. So let's see here. So we have a toString method we have an accessor that returns the number of exams. We have a constructor, and we have our attributes. Okay, so let's test it out real quick. So I'm just going to go over here, and we're going to call this one course test. Right, so it's not our final application. This one simply will test the course class. Okay, so in this one, we will have a main, and we're going to create an instance of that course, populate it, which means assign values to the attributes, and then print it. So for example, course, and let's call it C1 equals new course, and we're going to have CS 100, comma, and it will have 4 exams. So basically that is what we assigned for C1 as attributes. So the course name is CS 100 and it's got 4 exams. Let's go ahead and print it. And then we could actually print using the reference to the object C1, since we have a toString method. Right, so let's go ahead and test this one real quick. Fantastic. So we have CS 100 has 4 exams. Okay, so we can make this a little more interesting, since we're going to be selecting several courses for a student, a particular student. So we could have C1 for CS 100, C2 for CS 200, C3 for CS 220, etc., and then put them in some sort of a menu that the student can select. So, but before we get to that, so that's our strategy. Let's design the student class. So that will be our next video lesson. I will see you then.